here at the offices of Scarce City. I'm your host, Chris Tremount, Chief Executive Pleb at Scarce City. Today, you're auctioning off the Yellow Brick Road to Serfdom by Johnny Dollar. This is a 48-hour auction. Auction is live. Now we are accepting bids. If it's first time here bidding at Scarce City, I want to give you a quick run through. If you want to place a bid, come down here, input how much you want to bid in sats. We do the sats math for you. We tell you how much collateral you have to put down with your bid. We call this your bid deposit. Input an email address with that. If it's your first time inputting that email address with us, you'll also input a display name. That's what shows up with your bid. Your email address stays private. From there, you'll be directed to BTC Pay server to pay your bid deposit. You can pay that on Lightning or on chain, but keep in mind if you're paying on chain, you will pay fees with that, and we need those on-chain transactions to confirm within the standard auction time limit. We also disable on-chain transactions within the final 10 minutes. Now, if you don't want to deposit a bid with deposit sats with every single bid, we have another option for you. You can come down here, you can register. All we need you to do is input an email address, password, and verify your email address. And you can put down 500,000 sats. That's about 228 bucks. And you just pay that once. You can bid as much as you want, as high as you want. You get the deposits back at the end of the auction. Once it's over, the high bidder has a few hours to pay their high bid. Assuming they do, everybody gets back ASAP. If they don't, second highest bidder has their chance to pay. And once it's paid for, everybody gets their sats back. So as long as you're being cool, you get your deposits back. All right, what else? Look, final 10 minutes, we call that the hot zone. We got some time to get there, but just so you know, bids placed in the final 10 minutes, they reset the countdown to 10 minutes. The auction cannot end with a pending bid, and on-chain bid deposits are no longer accepted, as I mentioned. All right, without further ado, I'm going to welcome on our very special guest, Johnny Dollar. How you doing, man?
Better and better, Chris. Great to be here.
All right, your audio is coming in a little weird now. Let's see if we can get this right.
Okay.
Give me a mic check.
Check.
Yeah, I'm getting some fuzzies.
Okay, let me try something here. Is this better?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
A lot of static. Yeah, we did the sound check and it came through great then. For some reason, not so much now.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we figured it out. You sound great.
Me. Doing my best. Thanks, Chris.
Oh yeah, and you look great, man. I love seeing the painting in the background. I mean, seeing it in real life just gives it a whole nother presence. This thing that's a serious painting there.
Yeah, it is a serious painting. It's a good sized painting. It'll look great on a wall. It just, exudes energy. It has a presence.
Absolutely. Well, cool, man. Let's jump into it. I mean, before we do, actually, I want to ask you, Johnny Dollar. I get a nice feeling anytime I hear or say your name. Like, where'd you come up with this? Where'd it come from?
It actually came from an old radio show from like the 30s. And really, it's a fake name for fake money, is the joke I say. But it originally started for privacy. I was trying to disappear, like I'd gotten stalked, like my regular art. Just, something simple. But so I figured a name no one would find, because if you Google Johnny Dollar, it turned up this radio show. It was like the most popular show. So it was like kind of a hidden thing, and it sort of took on a life of its own.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it now that you mention it, it is the perfect radio name. It's like Casey Kasem, Johnny Dollar. Perfect ring for radio. It fits you nicely, though, dude.
Oh, thanks.
Personality. So you've been in this game for a long time, man. Why don't you tell us how this all started for you?
Well, I've been painting for 15 years professionally, almost 20 actually. But I got into Bitcoin 2012, and like they say, Bitcoin changes you. You don't change Bitcoin, and it changed me, and it kind of changed my art, and took me in another direction as I just started learning and learning, as it does for most of us that get into Bitcoin. It's kind of opens your eyes, gets you to start thinking in a different way, and I guess that's kind of been the start of my journey.
Cool. So let's unpack that a bit. What kind of paintings were you doing before Bitcoin?
Mostly figurative, like female nudes or
Nice.
hustling. Yeah, it was nice. Hustling portraits of, for people, usually like a rich guy's wives. And no, it was nice. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot. But, as soon as I found out about Bitcoin, my head took me a different place. I kind of got obsessed. I also felt I had to ask myself questions about the world and everything. And don't get me wrong, I will paint some more female nudes as time goes on.
Yeah. Always nice to have a little bit of distraction, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, all right. So you got into Bitcoin 2012. What was it? Like, what caught your attention? What got you into it?
Well, somebody had passed me, the Ayn Rand stuff when I was in college. I'd seen some of the cypherpunk stuff, the crypto anarchist stuff, but I'd experienced problems with a bank. Like they froze my funds. I was moving to another country, going to buy an apartment, and wired, I'm a young artist. This was my life savings, $20-some thousand, and it just disappeared.
Wow.
And it took, not to bore you, but long story short, 6 weeks later, I got my money back. Luckily, I knew someone that knew somebody that worked at the bank, and I brought a stack of papers this big to get my funds back. And that's when I learned that, banks, you don't have money at the bank. They have your money, and they can cut you off. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they don't even have your money.
Even better. No, like the whole scam of it. Once I heard about Bitcoin, I was like, I started researching it. And then like 2 weeks later, I realized I didn't understand the dollar or like fiat currency. And once I did, oh man, Bitcoin's very important, like especially now, like, money is digital, and we need to have it decentralized and permissionless. It's more important than ever. Really, I can't even overstate in the last few weeks how I've realized the importance of this. But I don't want to go on, like a political thing, but it's Bitcoin changes you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it is interesting recently, just every news headline. Someone put out this tweet, and I can't remember who, but it's like the world is just, it's like a blinking neon light saying buy Bitcoin.
Yes.
With every headline.
Absolutely. No, and it's important. I never really saw it, how important what we're doing is, like spreading this awareness, and because it's important, to not just, make some money, but like defend your values, your civilization. As we live in an era where data is power. And now that money is data, we don't want to have some centralized people controlling all that money, controlling our money, be able to stop it and ask permissions. We're going to be men, and we want, free men, sovereign people with, our own currency.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well said. And that's an interesting perspective, because look, we gave up our data with the social media platforms. That's our our social networks, our pictures, our thoughts, which is, pretty private. We probably would wish we didn't give so much of that. But it's like, now when you're talking about our money, we got to draw the line there. We're not giving that up.
No, not giving that up. If they can control your money, they can control you. If you can't feed your kids, I mean, you're a slave. You'll do whatever they want you to do. So yeah, we have to, Bitcoin is of the utmost importance. It is a multi-generational, repercussions, what we're going through in these years.
Yeah, 100%. All right, you've been in this game for a while. Like 2012, you were already painting, you got into Bitcoin. What are some of the, Bitcoin art related projects that you've worked on?
Well, I did some decentralized art shows. I actually did the first free and open source NFT minting platform when I really didn't even understand what it was. I'm looking forward to this moving toward Bitcoin. I embedded hardware wallets into paintings. I gave a talk at Anarchapulco on how to hide your private keys in art and like creative ways to store your money. Trying to, really spread that idea of, there's a lot of ways we can do this. This is really, powerful stuff, and trying to teach artists, just the basic concepts and why it's important.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Well, let's jump into this piece, the Yellow Brick Road to Serfdom. What inspired you to create this?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, it's kind of like the journey of money, or myself. Like last year, I was really kind of thinking about how this has grown. I was learning more about stores of value, hard money, sound money, and this painting kind of goes through the journey. There's like images of civilizations past, the rye stones, which were used as money back in the day, the ziggurat, which was like in ancient Babylon, Samaria, where they were first like storing data, with cuneiform. And they built, the Tower of Babel, trying to reach the heavens. And that, and these characters are walking through it. I guess, it was just learning about money and the coinage and alchemy. And there's a lot going on in it, Chris. So I hope that answers your question. Or
for sure. So who do you have walking with Dorothy here? We don't have our Tin Man and Scarecrow. Who is this?
Well, it's a skeleton, and it's a take on a Charlie Chaplin character, the Tramp.
Okay. Give me the background on the Tramp. I know Charlie Chaplin, but I'm not familiar with this character.
Well, this was like a famous character he did over and over, that was just down and out, but making his way through the world, like kind of the everyday man that was overcoming the struggles that, society, authority would bring on him, but, making his way.
Right. So how did you come up with these characters? What was the thought behind that?
There was no thought. It just kind of like a dream. They're like, more than words, if that makes sense. Like if you explain your dream to your friend, his interpretation is just as valid as yours. Yeah. They just seem to make sense there.
I love it. I love that. Cool, man. And you did something really unique here, obviously, with the QR codes representing the yellow bricks of the road. Where did that idea come from?
Well, I did it with another painting. I'm doing a series of them several years ago. It just flashed in my head as I kind of, like these QR codes are just squares, there's foundations, and to build upon it, because I wanted to take the painting to another level, especially since I've been working with the digital. I realized that art can be in and out of the painting. And it's kind of also like a choose your own adventure, because they all lead a different place, and they kind of, the semantics change of what you learn, and that kind of changes the story just a bit.
Yeah. And I was scanning through a couple of these, and they caught my eye, especially the Great Recoinage of 1696. This was one I was not familiar with, but super interesting. You want to explain that one for us?
Well, that one was back in the day, no one could trust money in England. And, and people all had these just tin coins and just more base metals. And when people went to, do an exchange, they would try to get rid of the worst coin first. You try to hold on to your best stuff. And the Great Recoinage was, Sir Isaac Newton's, his thing. And he was an alchemist as well in his early days, but he was trying to make a better coin, a better money, a money that could be trusted by having it be gold, all of them together, recoined, gold or sterling silver. So they'd be more fungible. So people could have money that they could trust, and it would be, designed in a way that less cheating, and that really led to England's great advance, or Britain's, taking, more dominance in the world. Was they got sound money. They could start doing commerce. People could start trusting, the exchanges.
Right. And I think you also had a link to, what was it? The creation or destruction of the gold standard. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I do. The Nixon shock, as well as, because, most people in this space know of that, how, we were, they confiscated all our gold back in the FDR era. For Americans, that is, like, they literally took all of our gold and at a fixed price. And then they were basing the dollar on gold, on the gold standard, our fiat paper currency. And then the Nixon shock was he just overnight said, nope, our money's just floating. It's not backed by anything. And we've kind of been living on that plane or that farce, that farcical like theater has been going on for, almost 50 years now. And it's coming to an end.
Yeah, 100%. And well, we just passed the anniversary of that too, of Nixon, I guess, outlawing the conversion of U.S. dollars to gold. It was fascinating. Someone posted the speech, and listening to him lay it out. But like before, when you just hear about the event as like an historical event of Nixon making it illegal to convert your U.S. dollars to gold, or to own gold, it sounds so draconian. But then hearing him deliver it as a public speech, you feel the political spin, and it makes you just realize, like, oh, this is not far from where we are. Like, you could totally picture a politician today saying something just as draconian and putting the same spin on it and making it seem like it's an okay thing, and actually getting like a lot of the public to buy into it, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I mean, nowadays they'd probably do it better because they'd have all the media on their side, or, yeah, no, man, it's incredible, really. And how, FDR took all the Americans' gold. That's like, as an American, you grow up and you're like, oh, land of the free. And then you hear like, they just robbed everyone,
It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, like I said, Bitcoin's important, that's an understatement.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any other links in here that you want to share with us?
Well, let's see. What's an interesting one? Yeah, I will share one. I don't have them all memorized. There's about 7 or 8 of them, and I kind of made them repeat because, people find certain ones easier to scan. So I just scanned one here, and what is it? It is, I don't know if you can see that. If not, it's The Creature from Jekyll Island. It is a free PDF of a book that really helped me. It talks about the secret meetings these bankers had to form the Federal Reserve. It's a key book. It's really eye-opening. Just to the lengths these guys will go to conspire against the general public. Yeah,
I've heard a lot about this book, and unfortunately I have not read it yet, but It sounds like I should bump it to the top of my my list, huh?
It's a quick, easy read.
Yeah.
It is a good read. It is a good read. There's another one here called The Road to Serfdom by Hayek. Someone gave that to me when I was a young man, like to introduce me to, I guess, Austrian economics or this kind of ideas. And yeah, no, like all those kind of thoughts kind of converge into, you know, this painting.
I love it, man. With each scan, you get a little history lesson.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, man. So what tell us, what else do you have going on these days? What are you focused on?
I'm focused on painting, and I'm actually working on embedding more hardware into paintings and devices, just to really work with more different concepts of wallets, of what a wallet can be, and different ways we can maybe store and interact with the artwork.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, I've explored a bunch, you know, just putting open dimes on artwork. It's a great tool for that. What other kind of applications are you looking at?
Well, you know, don't want to give away all of the cryptography, but you know, for sure, like the first painting I did, one of the QR codes was a public key, and then there was a private key hidden. I've looked at sound wallets. I've played around with, you know, as you know, like you can turn an image into sound and a sound into image. So you could have like, oh yes, you can. So you could have like a video and it go like a little bit of static in the beginning, and that static could be translated to an image, which is like a JPEG of a private key, and it's done in a way that you know, a computer wouldn't be able to read it. Like you can, like, you know, there's it's really sky's the limit. But yes, that's coming soon.
That's fascinating stuff, man. I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, you can do all types of cool shit with that. Love that. All right, cool, man. What, you got anything else for us, Johnny? Anything else you want to share?
Well, you know, whoever gets this gets the painting will also get a copy of my book. It's a limited edition, and yeah, there's a ton of cool paintings in here. They have a lot of augmented reality with them. And just to give you an example, is I use an app.
Yeah.
As y'all have seen, it's called the Art of Vive app.
Yeah.
I can hold it over the painting and
look at that.
Yeah, that's very. Check that out.
So the painting comes to life, and do a lot of cool stuff with that.
That's wild, man. What's the name of the book?
It's just Johnny Dollar. Johnny Dollar's paintings. This is the version I just made for the Bitcoin 2021, and this is the last copy I left for myself, but it is going with this painting.
One last copy, only going with the Yellow Brick Road to Serfdom. All right.
Yellow, yes.
Awesome, man. I wish I would have caught you on that book. I was too tied up with a work at the conference. I had no idea you had that available. I would have jumped all over it.
Well, I'll make another edition.
No,
that'll be different. It'll be different, and I'll let you know about it for sure.
Oh yeah, please do. If you make another edition, I want in.
Yeah, like I said, this was a very limited edition. Only did 21 of them. Yeah, and you know, got to go with that number. It's a magic number to us all.
Magic number.
All right,
Johnny. Well, where can people find more about you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter. I'm Johnny Dollar Art. And my website is johnnydollar.biz, and that's my Instagram as well. And yeah, they can email me, or they can always find me on Telegram as well. And but Twitter's easy, and so is Instagram. And if you got something private to say, tell me on Telegram.
All right, sounds good, Johnny. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to watching this auction develop, and we'll talk here soon.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Talk soon.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
All right. If you're still with us, I'll give you another quick rundown on how the auctions work in case you joined late. We are accepting bids. Input how much you want to bid in sats here. This is the USD conversion. This is how much of a bid deposit you'll put down with your bid. This is what keeps you accountable for ultimately paying for your bid. Input an email address. It can be any email address. Just make sure you have access to it because we use this to verify the winner and to refund the deposits. And also put in a display name with this. This is what shows up in the bid table once you place your bid. And from there, you'll be directed to BTC Pay server to pay your bid deposit. You can do that over Lightning or on chain. And you get it back at the end of the auction once the item's paid for. Hit me up if you have any questions. Easy to find. Twitter, scarce.city. Email Chris at scarce.city. And best of luck. Take care. Thanks for joining.